Hey family, what's good? This is your girl, I am the Bronze Goddess, and I hope you guys are enjoying this week of Strawberry Letters so far. This one is a doozy, okay? I know I say that a lot, but I'll let you hear it for yourself, alright? So, without any further ado, let's go get them. So my husband and I have been married for 3 years, and during our dating phase, I cheated on him, and he proceeded to cheat on me to get back at me. Fast forward to now, 2013. We have worked everything out, and we have gained our trust back completely. Before we got married, we agreed to try for a child in 2010. I gave birth to our beautiful daughter. I am now 21 weeks pregnant, but here's the issue. I got pregnant, get this, without my husband's consent. He really did not want any more children, but I did this selfishly. I took out my Mirena IUD, and about a month later, I was pregnant. Okay, girl. When I found out, I was very happy, but I acted as if it was a big surprise. But now guilt is weighing heavily on me. My husband has now come around to having another child, and he's being very supportive and very sweet. He even picked up a second job. We are both Christians, but I feel like I have fallen too short on this situation, and that it's not repairable. Should I tell my husband the truth so that should I tell my husband the truth? Is that what's going to be best in time? Please, I need to know. Even if you have to get me together and it hurts, I need to know. Of course I'm gonna get you together, girl. You know he was dead wrong. Girl, wow. But seriously, in all seriousness, you know what you did was wrong. What you did was really, really wrong. And to be quite honest, I'm gonna be so honest and so blunt. A lie this big, this huge, this life-changing, there is a possibility that the truth may cost you your marriage. Now, the guilt is consuming you because you don't want to keep anything from your husband. You already cheated on him in the past, and you say you worked so hard to get back to the point where you trust each other completely. And for you to violate that trust, doing this, which I feel like is extremely selfish, it's really not right. Especially when you and your husband were under the understanding that the one child that you guys had was enough. Do I think you should tell your husband the truth? Yes. I know that a lot of you who are watching this may put in the comment section that you think you should keep it a secret. Girl, no, if you tell him the truth, you're going to lose your marriage. But the truth may eventually come out, and it will definitely come better if it comes from you. And doing this and keeping this big lie, the guilt is going to consume you. You won't even really be able to truly be happy. Now, your husband may be upset with you at first. He may be very upset with you. He may, stop talking to you. He may, be very upset. He may even want to move out for a while. I'm not sure. I don't know your husband's temperament, and I don't really know much more about your relationship besides what you've told me. But this is a huge lie, and this is the second time that you have betrayed his trust. You already cheated on him in the past, and now you're doing this huge major thing. You're bringing life into this world without his consent. That's wrong on so many levels. But even though I know, a lot of people want to beat you up about that, you know you're dead wrong. You know you're dead wrong. But even though what you did was a mistake, the child is not a mistake. And I wouldn't want to bring a child into this world with a bunch of lies clouding it. I think that, you're pretty early on in your pregnancy. You're only 21 weeks. So I think that you have time to kind of work this out with your husband. And by the time the baby gets here, I think once he sees the child and, all of that, I believe he's a good father. Once he sees the child and everything, maybe he'll get over it and everything like that. But to be honest, I think that's a risk that you have to take. These kind of lies could cost you your marriage. And I hope that you are not, at least with this, after this is done, I think that you should, if you guys don't want to have any more kids, you should decide to tie your tubes and make sure that it's done. And it's going to take you a while. I believe it's definitely going to take you a while to regain his trust. The thing about trust is it takes time and energy to build up a wall of trust. With each honest deed, with each, thing that you've done right, you say you're going to be someplace and you are, you say you're going to do this and you do, it takes a lot to build trust up brick by brick. And when you do something especially as major as what you did, to lie about something so huge, you knock the wall down. And just because you apologize, just because you come clean, does not mean that wall of trust instantly goes right back up to where it used to be. You have to start all over again from ground zero, building his trust back up again, brick by brick. That's what people have to understand about forgiveness. Forgiveness is not an instant fix. Just because you have, repented for your sins, just because you've asked your husband for forgiveness, doesn't mean that you're off the hook. It still is going to take them time to forgive you. Of course they can forgive, but how long will it take them to forget and take them to give you another chance? And it may cost you. I think that what you did set your relationship with your husband back a while. I'm not sure how long, if it's going to take weeks or months, and God willing, hopefully it won't take years, but it may take him a while to truly trust you again. And what you did was so devious. I mean, you took out the IUD. Like you were very malicious. It's different if you got, pregnant and it was not planned. But you went above and beyond to take it out behind his back. And then you went through the whole trickery of acting surprised, like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Oh God, you said you were happy at first. Once you confess to all of this, your husband may look at you differently. But what I'm praying is that, you're both praying for your marriage. I definitely suggest that you pray. I suggest you pray that your husband will find it in his heart to forgive you. It's really up to him. In my opinion, yes, you should tell him, because a lie this big, if he ever were to find out that, and you didn't tell him, it would be tremendous. It would come a lot better coming from you. You guys can work it out from there. If you are sure that you don't want any more children after that, I suggest you get your tubes tied after that. And that's probably what he will request that you do. I don't think he'll trust you again with another birth control. I don't think he'll trust you again. I think he'll probably say, well, this is done. And, we're going to get your tubes to make sure that you can't do something like this again. But I think it was extremely selfish of you. But I definitely suggest that you ask God to forgive you, that you ask your husband to forgive you. But you have to come to grips with the idea that there's a chance that he may not. What is it worth to you to be honest with your husband? Hopefully you won't continue to be selfish and keep this lie. Because I feel like, starting a marriage or being in a marriage that's filled with trust, with distrust and dishonesty, it's not going to work. Because you're building a house on sand. This is not a firm foundation for you to build a true relationship on. The least you could do is come clean. Because my thing about it is, when you actually see the baby, that makes it a little bit easier. It softens the blow, because it sounds like your husband is a wonderful husband. You guys say you love your daughter very much. I think once this baby is born, he's going to love it and he's going to cherish it. And all of that, you see only 21 weeks, you have plenty of time before the baby actually gets here for him to come around to the idea. But I definitely think you should tell the truth. I think it's the right thing to do, and that's the least you could do. You owe it to your husband, after all of this trickery, to come clean. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the strawberry letter. Be sure to leave your comments below. I already know a couple of you are probably going to disagree with my opinion. That's perfectly fine. As I always say, opinions are like belly buttons. What do you guys think? Should she tell her husband? Should she not tell her husband? If you say yes or no, then be sure to tell her why. But I think that this is a moral thing to do. She says they're both Christians. The beauty of having a husband or having a mate who talks to God is that you can always pray that God will deal with their heart. He's receptive to it. I'm sure he's going to pray about it. You guys can pray independently. You can pray together as a couple. You can work things out. The beauty of having a man who has faith in God is that God can really deal with his heart, and he'll be able to hear the voice of the Lord. You can just pray, God, please help him to forgive me. Help him to realize that I'm truly sorry for what I did. Help him to realize that I will never lie to him again. But realize that it's going to take time. It's going to take time for him to get over this huge betrayal. This is not the first time you betrayed him. It's the second. And you have to work very, very hard to help him to realize that you will never do anything like this again. What you did was really malicious. And, I don't know. It's very, to me, honestly, and I'm not trying to beat you up about it, but I'm keeping it real. It was cruel what you did. It was cruel. Because now he got to go out and take a second job, and he wasn't prepared for it, and all of this. And it's just like, you made a huge decision with his body. It's no different, and this may sound really severe, but it's no different than somebody taking somebody's choice away. You took his choice away. And that's heavy. That could take him a long time, and maybe even the rest of your life, for him to get over. You took the man's choice away. You tricked him. Men don't take kindly to trickery like that, to be honest. So I'm really praying for you. I'm praying that God will, restore your marriage. And I pray that you continue to be honest with your husband. If you want your marriage to work, you can never do anything like this again. You have to be honest with him about everything. If you wanted more kids, you should have told him that. You guys should have prayed about that. But for you to make that decision on your own was very selfish. And I pray that your husband forgives you for it. Till next time, later divas and dudes. Deuces, honey.